Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another ZaffaVLOG episode brought to you by the power of the internet, straight through YouTube and from Korea. Where do we start? Firstly, last week Friday, my kids, we had like an English festival at my school, and I was obviously the dude of honor, the teacher. They're doing it they're just trying to do it, and I don't know why they did it, but I had to be there, so it was kind of cool. Got there, my mentor teacher told me I had to make a speech at the end of the thing. As I got there, like, okay, yeah, I'll make a speech. And I sat through all the grades' English performances, and I was moved. I was emotionally moved by each of those performances. It was like building up from like the first one. I was like, I'm manly, I'm not moved. The second one was like, I can do this. The third one was like, I'll do this. Fourth one was like, don't cry. Fifth one was like, oh I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Sixth one was like, and then the speech came. I'm like, oh crap! Now I had to keep all these emotions, and so I was sitting there like, going, hey, welcome, hi kids. I was trying to be boisterous about it and work everybody up to a frenzy. And at the point where it came down, where I wanted to say, like, it's such an honor for me to work at this school. It's been such an honor and privilege for me to work at this school. I started like tearing up, and I'm like, oh, thank God I'm in Korea. So I just bowed down, and as I bowed down, I stopped crying. So that's a thing, and everybody loved it, and it was amazing. And it got me to thinking, what can one expect here in Korea? Now, I've spoken with a couple of people. I know a couple of people that have had some problems with Korea. So most of them coming to Korea thinking it'll be a joyride, and then 4 months down the line, they freak the hell out and they run home. Midnight runners, they call them, I think. And that pisses me off. Foreigners, I mean, come on, guys. I'm a foreigner and I'm sticking it out. It's not that bad. But there are instances where it's bad, so I understand that. But like one of the things, and I don't know how long this list will be or how long this video will be, but one of the things that I realized that I never had before I came to Korea is I've got a really, really laid back or relaxed attitude towards life and whatever it throws my way. Well, apparently, according to people I know back home, I had that same attitude, but I have more of that attitude now. I actually realize that I have that attitude. So when things start to go wrong in Korea, and trust me, in the beginning, I'm not going to go into detail. In the beginning, it did. I just like, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. Let's just take it as it is. And that made me a better person, I believe. Second thing, and this is important. Second thing, especially if you're in the rural areas, you will be alone. And I'm not talking about rural areas where there's 20 or 30 foreigners in your town. That's pretty rural according to some of these people. Or 10 or 14 other, even 15 other foreigners in your town. That's pretty rural according to these foreigners, some of these foreigners that I've met. In my town, we've got maybe 10, if that many, English-speaking foreigners, right? So I'm saying it's gonna get lonely. If you have more than 10 foreigners in your town, you don't have an excuse to get lonely. Less than that, I understand. If it's lonely, you're gonna get lonely, and you need to be able to deal with that. And I dealt with it. Like for the first 4 months, I didn't go anywhere. Because I was saving up, I was still like trying to get money together. And for the first 4 months in Korea, I didn't go anywhere, right? But I survived the first 4 months. And then I survived the next month, and the next month. And then I started enjoying it. Not that I wasn't enjoying it before then. Don't get me wrong. I was just You're gonna get lonely. That's the point I'm trying to make. You are gonna get lonely. And you need to be able to deal with that, right? If you're sitting with anything more than 10 different people in your hometown, 10 different foreigners, English-speaking foreigners, in your town, in your rural town in Korea, you are not in a rural freaking town. You can go out and talk to at least one of them at any given time, right? Over here, it's a bit different story. But yeah, I know of a friend who, he spoke Korean, and he was an awesome guy. He's an awesome, awesome guy. And he couldn't handle the loneliness. He left after 6 months. And I wish we could have hung out more, you know, like, but he left after 6 months. He couldn't handle the loneliness, and he is half Korean, right? So it just goes to show you the type of personality you have to be. Third thing that happened to me that I never thought I really had is, to be perfectly honest, I didn't know that I could teach kids when I got here. Sure, I had like fun playing with my brother's kids and like making funny faces with them, but I never thought that my personality would be able to teach these kids. And I am teaching them now. It's amazing. The stuff they come back to me with 3 weeks down the line, I forgot that I taught them something. They come back to me and they tell me something. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. And then I remember, oh, crap, I taught you that. And the fourth thing, I think it's the fourth thing, is take risks. You don't know how many weekends, like, it sounds like I travel a lot, but I don't. The times that I do travel, because of the motion sickness and everything, that's another thing. If you have motion sickness, good luck here in Korea. But anyway, the times that I do travel, oh crap, you can see I just got out of the shower. The times that I do travel, right, I don't really plan anything. If I travel to Gwangju, the biggest city closest to me, I like, my plans are, go to that motel. Book yourself in. And then I just do whatever the hell I want. There have been times where I've been to Seoul with only the clothes that I have on me and my wallet and my cell phone. It's like, okay, I'm in Seoul now. What am I supposed to do here? I need to find a room. I was like going to Seoul without booking any rooms, without like knowing where I would go for the night. I've been there a couple of times where I didn't know where I was sleeping that night, you know. I'd arrive at 11 o'clock, I'd arrive in Seoul at night, and I'm like, I probably need a place to sleep. Luckily, it's easy to find places, but like, take risks. Take risks. If you go to an unknown town, just go there and see if you can do anything. Another of the risks I took is I sort out most of my banking stuff here. I'm in a rural town where it's like I sat in front of a teller like, oh, I need this, and he looks at me blankly. I'm like, okay, Mr. Bank Teller. And then I show him, I need this in here, and then it needs to go to Africa. It needs to go to South Africa, and this is the account details. And they look at me and they're like, they don't know. Next day I'll come back, and then I'll find a different way to explain it to them. I've done most of my banking alone here. Most of my bills I pay alone. The only thing that I had help with was getting a cell phone contract in Korea. That's the only thing, right? Everything else I had to do on my own. I would sit there. I remember the first time I transferred money back to South Africa. It took me about a week to get it done, because I would figure something out, and I would look at the list, and the form they would give me to fill in, and I'd look at it, and I'd translate it, and I'd go back to them the next day, like, this is what I want you to do. And they're like, no, they can't do that. And I'd go back again. Eventually, it got to the news, and it happened successfully. Take risks. And the last thing, and this is quite a long one, the last thing I want to tell you is, don't be afraid to fall in love with this country. It is a beautiful country. Don't be afraid to fall in love with the people. Don't think because you've fallen in love with a country, you love your own country, your home country less. No, it doesn't. It's like in real life, actually. You'll never forget your first love, but you always will find someone else after your first love. You will always find someone else. And that is how it works with falling in love with Korea. I love my country. I hate it, but I love it. But I love Korea. I love the people. I love the nature. I love the environment. The humidity could do a bit of tweaking though, but other than that, I love this country. I love my job. And I love my life. I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day on Facebook, where he asked me, how's it going? And I'm like, everything's actually going pretty damn well. And then I replied to him again saying, I never thought that I would say that while I was back in South Africa. But everything is going well. Be open-minded, be relaxed when you come to Korea. Take everything just take it in stride. Love kids. And you will soon find, and be able to, you should be able to be alone for long periods at a time. And before long you will find that the country has made a home in your heart. And on that very happy note, my name has been ZaffaGeek if you watch the Twitch, Bosvark if you watch the YouTubes. And until next time, you should have a good one.